transition. So as we, transition here, obviously we know there's been a lot of talk about Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. And I feel so bad for saying it like that because I feel like I should have said Will Smith. And it's almost like, I know.
We kind of have to. It's been
but here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
So that's been on the news a lot. And so culturally, we want to talk about marriage and relationships. And as Will and Jada have been iconic for that for most of us, I think even both of us, they were married maybe before we were born. Were they?
A little bit.
Bit.
Early 90s, right?
Maybe after we're born. Early 90s.
Yeah.
And so it's just like we're both born, in the 90s. I was 1990, so I'm better. But when you're on, when you're actually a zero, it's like 90 is cool.
Oh, sis, what is the you're gonna get into? You're gonna make me act up.
Okay, we can act up. We're gonna make it. But we've been hearing a lot of talk about them. Before we get into it, just want to say, before all of this, I'm kind of very new and whatever to it, is that obviously the love for Jada is just it's chaos. Yeah, it's like we love you think I'm going through all my favorite movies and judge me if you want to, but definitely love Menace to Society, and she was in it, and she had a pivotal role, the most memorable role, of course. Set it off, so sad. Cried my eyes out, but glad she survived. I'm trying to think what else.
It's going to be The Matrix for me. I'm sorry.
The Matrix,
Matrix
but
Reloaded,
it's just she's just been incredible, and of course, it's incredible to see her be with a partner like Will Smith, because again, growing up in the 90s, watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, taught so many life lessons, to us. It's beautiful. I mean, I almost feel like I should have shouted out Uncle Phil in our libation. Just the portrayal.
Save that one.
Just the portrayal of Black love and fatherhood and all that, was amazing. But they have been a pivotal couple for some. I'm not saying all, because everybody looks, but
the gold standard.
But they have been, and it's just been beautiful to see them, and also to witness their children, flourish as well. But there has been a lot of talk about them in the media and just what happened from the Oscars. Hope I got that awards right. And just the follow up now with her on her book tour for Worthy. Beautiful title, by the way, because I do believe women are worthy. And I do think she is too, but I also think that, when we do talk about relationships, especially marriage or any serious relationship, what does that look like? Should we look at, I know most of us did look at them for things, but should we look at them for relationship goals? And also we're just looking at what does it look like for Black people?
I'll tackle the relationship goal first. Okay. For me, the answer is no. I'm sorry, now. I know. I'm sorry, not sorry. Okay. I can't stand this. I really can't. It could be, I'm gonna be 1,000 with everybody here. What's been going on with Jada's book tour, what she has expressed, everything leading up to that. It's there's certain things that needs to be left at home.
I agree.
I've heard various points of validating her, of course, people shunning her for putting everything that she had put out there, especially the Tupac stuff. That is just, I'm gonna control myself on that one, because I was wow. But if we're talking about relationship goals and what we see as what we strive for as in a marriage, though, a lot of that stuff, I would hate to be Will in that situation.
That's what a lot of men say.
But let me break it down on my end. Okay, so it's that whole thing, okay, y'all been separated for 6-7 years, right? But you still have your family, you have your children, mm-hmm. you have, okay, damn the image, but it's like you have like a system in place for just your household and your family. A lot of that stuff, y'all couldn't work that out on your own. Instead, like, you go on a book tour expressing everything that was on your mind, how Will wasn't even the first thought in mind to marry, and just like everything else. I was actually debating on getting the book first just to know what more, but like, I don't know, I just want to get more into it. Mm-hmm. But just as, and Will actually responded, because he's been with her on the book tour, which is also is odd to me. I don't know. That's just like based off of the content of the book itself, from what we've heard. And he was just saying that, like, how, you know, just pretty much praising her, and just saying like how, like, you know, she's his life partner, and like, you know, there's so much that, you know, he has learned and become a better man behind all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you went through so much pain. You've been dragged through the ringer, and you're still just like, okay, yes, yeah, so support your lady, but there was a lot of hurtful things that was said in the context of this book. Mm-hmm. A lot of it, like, that was against you. Like, I wouldn't be okay with that. That's just me personally, because it's like, yo, why haven't we actually sit down and discuss this together? And maybe they have, I don't know, but just like, for it to go this far, especially when, and it sounds like I'm writing for the men here, but I'm just seeing more of like an objective view on this. Will had been really silent about a lot of his troubles, or anything regarding his marriage. Jada's throwing everything out there, mm-hmm. and we don't know what led to that. Like, yeah, we saw the slap last year, but regardless of that, like, it just feels very dysfunctional. Because I just think about me, if I was going into like a relationship, or if I was in a marriage, I wouldn't want that to escalate to that situation if me and my future lady, whoever that may be, was going through deep issues, right? Yeah. Even with the whole August thing, when we all felt that like, Jada and Will are in an open relationship, all this stuff, when they really weren't. So obviously she wasn't cheating or anything like that, but it's like, led us all to believe that, like, oh, this is just like, we were holding so hard on their relationship alone, because that was the gold standard of what Black love should be. Like, no matter what, you would work through anything that stifles it. But on the face of it, it really wasn't that. So it's just, to say that it's messy is one thing, but like, I just think it's really weird to put all that out there. Excuse me. And just to see you still consider it a husband, right? Mm-hmm. Even though they split, they're not divorced, but it's like,
he's still her husband.
Yeah, to see your husband and to paint your husband out in that light, regardless of like if it's right or wrong, like, that's just, it doesn't suit well for the family. I think of things in as a unit, yeah, not just individual. Even though I've been speaking on Will the whole time, but just like, it all encompasses the family. Yeah. Because like, I I don't know what I would do if like my parents, if they, you know, if they were married in that way and this was happening, I'd be pissed. Like I like knowing that, like, Mom, what are you doing? Like, why are you talking about Dad like this? Like, why does the world need to know about all of this? And maybe they're really open with their relation, like connection and everything. Maybe, I don't know, but that's my side of it. I just think, like, you know, this is it. Every time I hear about more of the book and what like she has been expressing, I don't feel good at all.
Yeah,
it's like it's nothing to praise. It's worth praising, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I mean, I hear you, and I think, you know, it's a public consensus as well. I think when you are in the public too as well, it's a little different. And they put a lot of their stuff in public, but I do believe when you are married or even in a very serious relationship, like there is a united front, as you talk about. And it is so, but I mean, it is so many people don't poke holes. As an average normie, and I'll speak subjectively, and being married, it was just like, or being in a relationship. Serious relationship.
No, you're married.
Yeah.
But it's
just like even having, I mean, not on the platform of Will and Jada, but so many people, you know, speaking about it and this, and you're sharing all this, that, and the third, but it was a very close environment, you know, and it's people who actually care about you and want the best for you and your partner, or for you and XYZ. However, when you are on a public platform, who knows? But I still think it still should be the standard, especially when there is hurt. I think it's different when you're talking about so-and-so doesn't do laundry, you know? I mean, maybe even the amount of women like that, like, oh, the ring, or we're going to, you know, surface level things. But I think with, and I don't even want to say I think, and we know, with, even if we were separated or not, any type of entanglements, we known or not known, the fact that one was known, especially, and I'm not a man, but especially, and I'm not trying to be double standard, but it's our biology, but especially with an entanglement or an affair happening, right, with a woman and another man, that is a very hard thing to come talk about. And it's not to say you should shun or not talk about it or whatever, because we hear about it happen all the time. And I think that's the interesting thing, is other famous couples, just, it is what it is. It may be written in a bio, but going on to do interviews and writing about it, it is really hurtful. And I think that we saw that, whether Will's a man, or he's a man, but he's still human. And I think hearing about that, is hard, and some things should be kept private, especially if you decide to still be together. And I think that's maybe the issue. That's a little hard for most of us to grab, because it's like, of course, when you go to your separate ways, everyone's usually talking like this and that and the third happened, but you're still together and you still love this person, so you claim, and you know, vice versa. And it's like, well, what is the point of speaking all of this hurt into the public? Because you can, it's a little bit easier to heal, I would say. I mean, never been famous, but even just within my friend group or family, you know, some things are easier to heal from with a selected group of people or indoors versus everyone giving commentary and this and that and jokes being said and this and that. And so it's just like, what is the point? Especially, I think, when you are of a higher stature, where you could practically hire supporters or hire listeners or get the best help that is needed, unlike most of us, and really, you know, speak to it. But sometimes I think when things are being spoken, it is like, are you tearing down? Yeah, you can share your truth, but in essence, like, why do you need to share your truth with all of us?
I want to, so I didn't mean to cut your wisdom, but that the whole spill of like share your truth, even that gets blown out of proportion. Not saying for you, but in general, like, a lot of people feel like sharing your truth means it is the truth, and it's not. It's literally just a perspective. Sharing the perspective of what you feel is going on, and we tend to use that as validation, and it's No. It's not. No, it's not. It's like you're telling your side of your feelings on an opinion, and it's not necessarily like, it's not sound.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to mention that because I hear that a lot too,
Yeah.
and it's like, no, that doesn't make it good though.
No, it doesn't. And I mean, and that too is just, I think for a lot of us who have been in relationships or whatever, you've expressed coming to terms with the man in the mirror or the woman in the mirror, hearing from your partner, and you just share that, like, with people you trust, but it's just kind of like, what does it do? Like, honestly, if, I've shared things with you and vice versa, it does. It doesn't release me of any accountability, I would say, but it does force me to look into the mirror and want to do better for the next relationship.
That's what you're supposed
or
to
improve. Yeah. And I think I'll be honest and say that I think that's the major missing component of hearing about Will and Jada's journey, is that they're sharing, and it's individualistic. We all need to be selfish some time to heal. And I know you said like one version of the truth and X, Y, Z. But where's the improvement?
I love that. Where's the progression?
Where's the progression? Okay, yeah. That's fine. And couples go through things, have open marriages, or they're separated. And this, for me, it's like, it's not even like, I'm trying to stop saying that. But for me, it's flatline, it's surface. It's this is what it is, and this is how we operate. And this is how we're moving forward. Not we're reconciling, we talked about it. This is how we want to move forward. It's just like, no, we're just staying together, but all this, that, and the third has happened. This is how it made me feel. But in marriage or even any serious relationship, there are challenges and there are issues. And usually people come together to improve, to resolve those. And I think that that's a major issue of hearing about a whole lot of, what she disclosed, sharing her truth. But where is the remedy?
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it hard to hold them now as a couple you want to attain to be, because it's like, okay, we all have, maybe not all, but some of them may have experienced challenges here and there, but we know we want to be with this person. And that's the crazy part, is that they're like, we're not leaving. And that's totally fine. And for some of us, like, the Bible says it, or this and that. But it's, how are you reconciling? How are you healing? How are you helping your children heal? How are you coming back together since you're together? And that's a major part, I think, that's missing for America when they talk. And then lastly, I'll just say, it is highly, I'm just going to say it, as much as I could get on here and speak some things, it is highly, I would say, disrespectful and unwelcoming and just, I don't even want to say weird, but bizarre. I like the word bizarre, to speak of another man when you are still married and saying you're not going to separate. It's very different when you're saying, we went through this, I love this person, but we've run our course. But it is strange. And it's, had it been the other way around, and I'm just going to flip it. And we all know, we don't know, but we all know, like, maybe stuff has happened with Will and other women and X, Y, Z. It's been hinted. I'm not saying I respect him keeping it on the low or whatever, but maybe there was disrespect in the background and we don't know, and we shouldn't know, right? But to go around and speak of such a great connection with another person, that is very hurtful. Yeah, it's like being and for us everyday normies, it's like me being with someone and just always talking about, my ex used to always do this, so and so was like that, I could drop names, or this and that and the third, and it's just like, we're normal people, don't have the amount of fame or money, but we also know that if I said that to my partner as a normal person, I'm a normal person, they would feel hurt. They would probably leave. You're going to keep comparing me, to this regardless. I don't, we don't have to get into the validity of if it's true or not, but it's just as if you're talking about another male. And again, that's why I said the biology. As women, we get upset too when we hear about other women, but it just baffles me to the point where you are married, to a man, and you're talking about another man constantly. And that is okay. Like, again, if you were single, I would I get it. Like, I get it. Like, okay, I was married to Will. We were separated or divorced divorced. And now I'm just giving a tell all about all the men I've been with or that I was interested in, who were my soulmates. But for any man to hear that is heartbreaking.
She's bigging up Tupac. Like that man's still alive. Let that man rest.
Yeah.
Like, God dang, I'm sorry.
I get it, but it's
like, yo.
I get it, but it's also one of those. It's also you were in something, maybe not physically, but I get it. It's just not the appropriate time.
It's not appropriate. I'm sorry.
Until you are divorced, not even separated, because these are two iconic people. For one, and they are two males, and very masculine males at that. And so it's just kind of like, you
can't help but like see comparisons. Like if I was Will, that's the first thing that comes to mind. It's like, all right, so you compare me to him, pretty much.
And that's the thing, you can't. And then you just keep talking, and then you talk about how special this person was versus me, but you're with me. Like it's just not good. And I understand, but that's the thing is, like, I think as humans, and I'll especially say as females, and I don't know, people can come for me as we transition or end it. Titanic, and
wait, what?
I'm going to Titanic. I know. But wait, no, this is it. I like it, exactly. But I'm going to the Titanic because the movie was great. Maybe cry.
I mean, you speak for yourself.
I'm going to cry. Maybe cry. Okay, but one thing, fake rules. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's true or not. But she said this quote was just like, the woman's heart has so many secrets. And not saying women should keep things away, but like,
but I believe it.
And that's true. And that's why I brought up the Titanic. Is, I mean, I don't think I can't remember if their story really wasn't real. It was like the other couple who had died, whatever. But it's just kind of like the woman's heart. Oh, that's what she said, is an ocean of secrets. I like that quote. But it's just, that is okay. Men can put stuff out there and we have to deal. And
no, we telling ourselves.
Yeah, men do. And that's what we said. But as women, but the reason why we have an ocean, I think, of secrets, and that's why I just brought up the Titanic, is just, could you imagine, even though it was a fictitious, well, the story of Titanic is real, but maybe
romanticized? Yeah,
it was romanticized between, I can't remember.
Leonardo DiCaprio and...
I was trying to remember their character names. You know them.
Jack and someone.
You're so... Rose. Rose and Jack. You're so stupid, Rose. but in all, like, totality, just like she survived. She couldn't go back to the name. She heard the person, and she just would have been like, "Ooh, I'm still alive." He would have probably did whatever. And then, obviously, she married and had the grandchild, and that's how she got back to the boat. But it's just like, some things are just left for the heart, or they're just left for your friends. And it's because you love the other person, and you also understand the biology, I'm just sorry, of males. And I think, again, when you are with someone, they are still married. And to talk about someone dead or alive, and that nature is different. It's very different. If, I'll be honest, if Tupac was a friend to both of them, I could understand. But Will has always expressed how intimidated he's felt, even in him being alive.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. And so it's just, if I'm going to say I'm going to stay with you, and that's the thing. We don't know if it's for money or... And at this point, I can't even say it's really even for religion, because everything didn't happen in the marriage. Yeah. So you're just like, and that's okay though. It's not, but it's just like, if you're going to do that, like, why keep doing this? And it's okay. Like I said, if you're single, of course, I would just talk up a storm about everyone I've been with and how they impacted. And that's the freedom of being single. Yeah. Yeah. But when you are with someone, that you can't do that. You can, well, she did, but you can't. And then you see what happened, with her daughter writing the letter and all that. And it just sends we all have issues and challenges, but it just sends such a heartbroken message, I think, to your children and to the person that you're with. And regardless of what infidelities or open, whatever arrangements to them, even with Will Smith, I think some people, I didn't read his book either, but saying he often fantasized about XYZ. But when things are really put on the table, it is really hard. You're human, even if you are a celebrity. You're human.
Yeah.
And I think that's the sad case of Benjamin Button. No. The sad case. That's the sad case of Will and Jada, is that the humanization of it. It's almost as if Will, in a way, it's not a good joke or a good analogy, has to put a thug life front on and be like, I'm okay with it. Maybe he is, but maybe he isn't. But we all know he's not.
No pun intended. Jeez.
I know. All eyes on me. But it is, though.
That should have been the real title of the book.
That really should have been.
All right, I'm done.
I know. But that's just like ultimately when it comes down to, is because any one of us, I mean, I see, men especially, but even as a woman, I mean, I cannot imagine if, Will went on, he may have done X, Y, Z with people, but I can't imagine if he would just be like, I forgot his wife's first. That was
first wife's name?
Yeah,
I forgot.
But I just can't imagine if he just would keep, like, she was amazing, she was this, she was that, because then you would be living in that shadow, but it almost seems like you're just living in Will's shadow. And that's what people keep saying. She just doesn't like it. But it's like, but you have so many followers. Mm-hmm. You have so much support. That's the thing. That's what I don't get. Is like, she could literally start a women's group or whatever. And like, honestly, I would probably join.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah. And
I mean, she did Red Table Talk. I'm pretty sure she had no problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you would have no problem to even make people sign NDAs and talk and share your truth without having, and again, it comes down to if you decide to stay the person, but you're with the person. And I don't condone like, what happens behind closed doors, especially if it's toxic. Mm-hmm. I get that, but when it comes to marriage, it is sacred. When it comes to a serious relationship, it's like, just respect that, especially if you know it's gonna hurt the other person. And I think I'm sorry, going on, but last thing on her interview, it's just like, I'm going to play the adulterous wife because he's not ready. First he said she said
I didn't hear that.
Oh yeah, she said, boy. She was like, first he said he was ready. He wanted to be there with me on the Red Table Talk, but then he just couldn't. And if my partner was telling me that they couldn't, why would you still go on there or even allow him? We saw it in his face. He's still human.
No, she wanted her get back.
Yeah, but then she also was like, but then even the way she goes around is like, I'm the adulterous wife, and it's.
No, I think that's what it was. She wanted her get back.
Yeah,
for some strange reason,
and that's okay. But nobody was even. You guys are who you are. Everyone already heard the rumors. I think if anything, I wasn't mad at she cheated. I just think it was odd that you would cheat with your son's friend.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's sorry. Yeah. How many other people women do we know who have had, I mean, we could probably think if I could rack my brain around, but it's not.
I shouldn't be judging,
but I think that's more of what people had a problem with. It was who it was, not necessarily what was done, because everyone kind of knew. The fact that even she's saying Chris Rock asked her out. Yeah, well, we would.
I can believe that though.
That's fine, but I would have rather her be with him than Algus Alsina. Yeah, I think her being with him would have made a lot more sense than being with like a young adult that was your friend, your son's best friend or friend who was going, and that too was just a weird thing. It's like he's going through depression or all these things, and you're older, like it's different. Yeah, if he was advantage. You're taking advantage. It's different. Mm-hmm. He was all fine and his mental health and everything was up, but it's like you took advantage. It's almost like you took advantage of him. That's all. Mm-hmm. But no one. If you would have been with Chris Rock, we just want to be like, oh, okay, like messing with the bros. Like,
I would have been more upset with Chris.
Okay, yeah, but I'm just saying. but at least at least it was age appropriate. That's all I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, that's what made it weird, I think. Yeah. And she chose, and again, not saying Will is innocent, but it's like you chose someone who obviously felt hurt by what you did to them and had to expose, and that too is just in itself like, and you just could take it, but instead of like taking, it's just like, okay, no, we were separated. But even if you were separated, it's going to someone like that's hurtful. And then also writing off the back of someone it's like, and I get it because we've all, well, not all, but maybe some of us have really been with legacy men or legacy people. And it's just like it's like she's not milking, but like she's been with two incredible people. Not like maybe romantically with two people, but it's like iconic. She's been with two iconic people.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's where, and I'm okay with her sharing that truth, but again, single.
Yeah.
If you're single, like, yes. Because just, and interesting enough, and I keep saying I'm going to stop, but I am. I just want to say this, is that love Tupac, got the same birthday. Typical guy.
Oh, right.
But the thing is, I know Gemini. I'm glad. But the funny thing, not even funny, is it's interesting that people who were actually married or with him have not even spoken. And not to say they don't have a platform, because they would. I mean, whatever that white DJ's name is, DJ Vlad would give them a platform. Anybody would, but it's just like, it's the sincerity of it. And that's what I think is just kind of odd with Jada, especially playing in these prominent roles that we love. And obviously some of us being able to like resonate with whatever. But it's just like, it's just odd to me that, you know, it's like you want that. And that's okay. But again, get it appropriately.
Yeah.
And I think that it's just wrong in the way that she's done it. And I also think it is disrespectful to, you know, to the woman that was actually married and then he was engaged after. Not saying he wasn't a player, he got around, but it's also just, I mean, I don't know, I wasn't alive. But for what we heard, but that too. But it's like, but again, and maybe these women are married and that too. They're normal and they are probably respecting the partners that they're with or their children. Mm-hmm. You know, and they probably let them know. I mean, I remember, I think I saw like comments that were like, well, I met him or he wanted to hook up, but blah, blah, blah. But it's just like,
people gonna say whatever.
I mean, they are, but we all know some things. But it's just like, I just wish, and I get it though. I respect her journal entries. I respect her. Jay!
What? No, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying.
I respect a woman's journey, and I think that's just what it is. But I think that usually the journey does come out after you've been liberated.
Yeah.
And you choose to be, or you don't choose it, and you guys both, or the person, whatever, files a divorce. But, and I think there's, you know, there's like bits and pieces that we all talk about. Even for me, you know, not being allowed, but yeah, you talk about it. But everything in a sense, like until you're completely departed, it's, you know, it's hard. But I am really about to close is that I think that if in a marriage, and I know like some people, you know, whatever, they're in a marriage and whatever works for you works, right? And I think if you see that, like, people, both the spouse and husband, whatever, wife and wife, on the same page, you're like, okay. But I think because Will's emotions clearly, after Albus Alsina being on the Red Table Talk, whatever it was called, he was not good. Mm-hmm. He was looking like a breakdown. Then there was a video of her trying to record him. He asked her to stop, and she kept recording him at their home. Or something. Remember that came out? And then last but not least would be the slap. Mm-hmm. And so it's just like, if someone is showing you that, then it's just like, okay, well maybe, you know, that's all. Maybe we shouldn't discuss it. Let people ponder. And that's the thing. They are the two people on the planet who owes nobody anything. If anything, as a normal person, if I'm trying to stay with my husband or stay with, somebody, or you know, you're with somebody, it's like, okay, you want your friends support, you know, you need them, you want them, you know, you want them to be there and all this, but it's like, you all are in top 1%, you live independently of all of us.
Yeah, that shows that too. I mean, just say like I said, they were the model relationship.
Nobody can touch you, and they still can. People can, even us can comment, but yeah.